Hi everybody. I already see familiar names, and some of the names I can actually put a face to. So that's good. Okay, let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Evie, Phaedra, Leah, Carol, Fire Butterfly, Debbie, Angel Star, Reg, Cindy, Jelma, Amy, Kathleen, Darren, Beth, Cindy, Tisa. Oh, somebody's on Twitch. Fire Butterfly. Melva, Teresa, Erica, Erickson, Melanie on X from Cali with love. Sun, of course, my dog wants to say hi. Give me 1 second. Oh, where's your okay. Come here. Okay, go. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Tell them you haven't showered for the week. I've been so busy, so tired and so busy. I haven't had the chance to wash him. Son, Lara, Dawn, Marian, Borowinkle, RJ, Rachel, MJD, Ako 613, Bangtan, Halina, Gigi Wolf, another one from Twitch, Thea, Lara, Elizabeth, Cassandra, Bangluna, Owensky, Raquel, Mycel, Nikon Lady, MLB, Cindy, Ruella, TLT, Mali, oh, Phaedra. I missed my shout out. I did. I said hi to you in the beginning. OSP, Lynn, and another one from X, Lindsay, Darlene, Angel Star, Jalma Consuelo, Erica, another one from Twitch, Personal Space, Tisa, Vihart, Rachel, Seda, Owensky, Romy, myself. You're the doggish. Okay. Cassandra, Mama Ja, Consuelo Brisa, Kemuning on Twitch, Monine, Mali, Anne, Ray, Dodger Girl, also on Twitch. Siji, Dodger Girl. Are you a fan of LA Dodgers? Because if you are, let's talk about so I blanked out. Okay, Siji, Mob Phil, Estefi, Cheryl, Beth Davidson, Bangluna, Mansion, Me Too. Okay, yes, you're a fan of. Okay, I was gonna say, let's talk about Otani. He's so good. Had a great time last night at J-Hope concert. Oh, great. Okay, so let me see how my progress is in my J-Hope. I was actually uploading the video. I prepared a video, but I'm not sure. It's still 24%. Okay, maybe I will do other topics first, and by the time that it's done, I can show it to you. Oh yeah, please like the video. Please like the video. Okay. Oh wait, let me make it bigger. Oops. Nope, not that. Oops, not that. Okay. Oh, here. Ah, oh, where am I? There you go. Okay. Hello. How do I remove that? There you go. Okay. Evie, hi everyone. Also, oh hi. She's also on Twitch. I had fun meeting with everybody. We spent Friday for the first day of J Hope's concert in the suite, which is a really different experience for me. I like it. I really do. And then we had dinner, and then day two of the concert. I didn't go to there was supposed to be I was going to be in the suite. You are unfocused and lagging, you may not be able to upload. Am I am I lagging? Am I lagging? And am I unfocused? I'm blurry. Mm, I'm not lagging, but I am blurry. Okay. Can you give it as I'm not. Okay. So maybe give it a couple of minutes because I'm not uploading. Just out of focus. Not lagging, unfocused, just unfocused. Better. Blurry, unfocused. You're fuzzy, not logging here. Blurry, yes. No, but unfocused. Not lagging. Sometimes blurry, but no lag. Okay. Because I'm not doing anything. See here. To me, you're blurry. Hmm. Hmm. Clearer on Twitch, bit better. Okay, good. We're progressing. Hi everyone. Sorry. Hope you had fun here. We had fun. So I'm just gonna talk it out and hopefully it fixes itself. If after 10 minutes it hasn't fixed itself, then I'll see what I can do. Okay, so it keeps freezing on me. A few freezes. They said they like watching you, BB. Um, wipe my lens? But they said, so am I blur? The question, am I blurry to you? A little bit of lag. I don't know. I'm not uploading anything. It's okay. So to some, I'm okay. So it's not the lens. We had a great time. Beth, yes, we had a great time. It's coming and going and wee bit of lag. Don't worry. No. Okay, fuzzy. Yes, no. Okay. I'm just gonna talk it out and hopefully it fixes itself because I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna share a screen, but it's already pre-uploaded as I used to. Has that person checked their internet There are some people that are several people that are saying that I lag and a bit blurry. Is it a YouTube thing? I think it's lagging. You have the J effect. Brisa said it's okay. Huh. My dog is so sweet. Yeah. He's also very, very. Okay, now I'm kind of worried. Talk it out. Okay, I'm just going to talk it out and hopefully it fixes itself. Okay, so we had fun 3 days, first day one of Hope's tour. I'm going to talk a little slower and hopefully um, it fixes itself. Okay, so we had fun day one. We went to the suite, and then the one thing I was never able to do was give you the giveaways that I had. I worked so hard in preparing all of that. I went through all the like stuff that I haven't used and stuff that I just accumulated all these years, but then I wasn't able to give it to you. There were some people who followed me to the car on day one who were able to get some of the giveaways. But then the rest, I was planning on giving it during dinner, and then but because the allotment, I only prepared for giveaways to for people that were with me in the suite, and so I was planning to do it after dinner and just call you to the car. But then somehow we all forgot about it, and then I was gonna bring it second day, but then on second day I gave the remaining ticket so I ended up in the on the floor instead of going to the suite. So that's what happened. Um, and so I wasn't able to give you guys the giveaway. So maybe next time I'll try to do that. But anyway, so we had dinner. I'm glad that everybody liked the restaurant and the food in the restaurant. And then day two, I was on the floor, which was a little bit of a mistake on my end because I forgot I'm short. So I forgot to wear like the like tall, it's like tall whatever. You know, the chunky shoes. I forgot to wear that because I forgot that it was small. Well, I did not expect I was going to end up in the floor. So half the time I sort of have to, yeah, the chunky boots. Like I have one that's 6 inches. A friend of mine actually bought it for me. Because he knew my struggles whenever I sit on the floor for concerts. And so half the time I sort of have to wiggle my way to actually see J-Hope because of the person in front of me was pretty tall and also pretty hair. So I was just staring at her hair the entire time. But it was a different experience, and I was actually able to I was able to take some videos for the so I usually watch more than one concert because usually on the first day I would just try to be in the moment. I'll just try to as much as possible enjoy the moment and whatever, just enjoy the music and not really think about like taking videos or taking photos and whatever. And then it's usually on the second or third day. If there are 3 days, then I'll watch 3 days. And usually it's in the second and third day when I would start taking videos for my reviews if I need to put out a review or something. So for this part, because there were only 2 days in LA, I did first day, I was just in the moment. I think when Miguel showed up, because I did not expect he was going to have any kind of uh I did not expect he was going to have a guest. So when he showed up, and I really love the song, I really love Sweet Dreams, and I love Miguel's voice. So when he showed up, I think I absolutely lost my shit. I'm glad that I was actually behind everybody. So yeah, great that you didn't see me. um, okay. Okay, 1 second. So everyone, Fire is saying that it's so bad that I have to restart my feed. Is that right? Should I restart? Is it that bad for everybody? I'm waiting for everybody's answer. Is it that bad for everybody? Should I restart my feed? Fire butterfly, I don't care. I can hear you. Lagging for me too, but I've been lagging all day. Glad to join live. So should I restart? No, yes, yes, no. It's pretty bad. It's pixelated. Yes. Should I start? Yes. No, 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 yes. Okay. I should restart. Okay. Restart, please. 144p. How do I look at 144p? You can still hear me. Okay, 1 second. Let me see. Let me see. Give it 5 more minutes. Okay, I'll do that. Why don't I just give it 5 more minutes? And if it doesn't fix itself, I'm going to restart. Is that a deal? I'll do 5 more minutes, and then before I start my my first presentation, then it looks too funny. It's like a dial. I'll give it 5 more minutes. Okay, let's just see what's going to restart if it isn't much trouble, but we can work with it though. Okay, let's give it 5 more minutes, and then if it doesn't work, if it doesn't fix itself, I'm going to restart. How's that? Deal? Okay, deal. All right. So let me just start this segment. So the one of the things that I think I realized is that maybe so I can have like more meaningful conversations with people when we kind of meet up. I think I want to have like, smaller groups so that so that I can actually like sit down and get to know you people better. Because I feel like during dinner, of course, I was sitting in one table. I did try to go around as much as I can. But then I feel like, I really wanted to get to know you guys better. So I hope I can actually like um maybe in the next one, maybe in the next meet up, I can just go around and um set up like smaller groups, like meetups with smaller groups, more intimate, so that I can actually get to know you guys. So that's one. Second is that I think the fundamental error with BMO is that the time. So the concert was supposed to be at 8. Well, it was at 8. So they started allowing people in at 6 p.m. And then, but then it takes time, right, to get people in. So by the time we get to our suite, it was like 6:45 or something because there were so many people. And then and so we had to, so it wasn't really a lot of time to sit down with people and actually like get to know everybody. So I hope that if we do it next time, the like there's an early, like we can actually go in earlier in the suite so that we can actually sit down and talk. So I think that was my primary frustration, because I do like talking. I like talking to people. I like getting to know people. I like hearing people's stories, but I didn't get to do that much. Like my mom actually managed to talk with people more than I did. She was like, "Oh, you know this person," and it's like, "Oh my god, how did you know her story?" I didn't, because it was just like it. Everything went by too fast. So next time I hope we can do that. And then during dinner I hope we can like do smaller batches, um so that it's a better we're actually, my goal is to really build a community. Like I think one of the fundamental things that I learned about the entire experience is that we're, if there's anything, we're all like, not all of us, but at least many of us are really looking for people with the same interest to travel with, to just talk with, to spend time with. And it was a great, like it was a great opportunity for a lot of people to find those company, because I know that some of you are actually, yeah, Beth and my mom are actually close friends now. So some of you are actually planning on meeting up and spending some time together and traveling together. So and it wasn't just us, because I know that in the next suite, the suite beside us, it's this actually the same thing. A lot of them wanted to join a suite because they wanted to meet people, but I guess I think either the very next suite or the suite after that, there wasn't really anybody sort of organizing things, and so they were just sort of doing things on their own. um so it didn't really help a whole lot for them, because there wasn't really somebody facilitating them having a conversation and meeting up and whatever. And many of them are introverts, so they didn't know how to like approach people. So um so I think that was a big learning for me. Like a lot of us are actually looking for that, like company and people that have the same interests as ours, so that we can travel and all of those stuff together. So and I love that many of you actually came together and found that, and I hope that we can do it more and we can do it better. It's just that as I've said, I guess I didn't plan it because I did not really know what to expect. So I wasn't really planning things the right way. I wasn't really looking at, oh, how do I get to like spend more time with certain people and whatever. So, but that's something that I learned. So maybe moving forward, and the next time that we do it, we can plan things better based on what we learned. Also, I am so touched with the people that actually help in their own different ways. Phaedra is the lanyard girl, which is a huge help, because I'm not very good at remembering. I'm good at remembering names and remembering faces. I'm not good at putting two and two together. So having people with the lanyard actually helped. And as I've said, had we spent more time together, I think I'd be able to like really memorize the names. But given that there was a lanyard, it actually helped, and there was a lanyard even during dinner. So that really helped. And then people who gave away, I have this. I'm actually using this, and a whole lot of other giveaways that I got. So um, it was touching that people actually went out of their way to prepare something to give to people, because it does, like, it makes a difference. Like, it doesn't, in the things that you give away doesn't have to be big. Like, there were people on the floor, and in the past they would give away like bookmarks or just even like a photo card of the members. But having that memory was such a huge thing for me. And for my mom, it was her very first time to actually do something like this. And so, um, for her, she was so shocked and so surprised that the culture, that something like this actually exists. But so it was a great experience for her. She was so happy. She was like, "Oh my god, I did not know that you do this. That you give away things. I should have also prepared something so that we can give away some things." And she was so upset at me that I forgot to bring the giveaways. And she was like, "Oh, you should have done this and whatever." So very generous of people. I'm so touched and I'm so thankful that we all came together. And as I've said, that everybody actually prepared something. It doesn't have to be like huge things. So yeah, so those are like some of the main learnings. And maybe we can do it again next time in the OT7. Um, we can plan things better. I think so. My plan for OT7 is for me to actually. So one is I definitely want to get a suite for OT7. So if they do SoFi or if they do Allegiant, it's one of those two. But if it is a stadium, for sure it's going to be more expensive. So if you search on if you search on Twitter or YouTube, there was this girl who actually like documented her entire journey of getting a suite, and she spent about 1,500, and um that was like, well, that was the last OT7 concert. So she was like, it was 1,500, and I was checking the prices. So it is going to be more like 1,500 without food. So that is just for the suite. And then, maybe because some people would want to experience the floor, maybe on second day you can go get the floor. And then we can just have like dinner. But as I've said, maybe I will do like pockets instead of, maybe we can do like one big dinner and then we can also do like pockets, just so that we can get to know each other better. So one thing that I did regret is I said I should have like actually joined some of you guys in. I know that some went to you actually visited the beach, and some of you actually went to visit um uh Getty, the Getty Museum. So I wish I joined, because that's an opportunity for me to actually get to know people. Maybe, for those who can, maybe we can do a light hike next time. So yeah, let's do all of that. So my plan is to do either Allegiant or SoFi, California or LA. Sorry, LA or Vegas for the suite. And then if there's going to be London, if they're going to do Wembley, I'll definitely go, and I don't care. I've been telling people I do not care if it is like a nosebleed ticket. I just want to be a part of the experience, and then probably like go into different locations, and meet other armies. And then if I manage to get a ticket in Seoul, I'll probably go, for their concert in Seoul. That's probably the kickoff. So I'll probably go if I can get a ticket. And then if maybe one more state east for the US. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Now the other plan, that's for the OT7 plan. We don't know when that's going to happen, but that is what I'm planning to do. Now the other plan is I hope that we don't need, for some of you, I hope that we don't need to wait for OT7 to actually come together again. Like if there are people, like if there's a long holiday that's coming, and you guys want to like set up something, just let me know. Like if you want to go somewhere just for the long weekend, let me know. Maybe we can come together again, um, and not have to wait for OT7. As I've said, I do want to build a community, not just like a short term or like seasonal or occasional get together. Okay, so that is the plan. Okay, there was somebody asking about the ticket prices before I restart. Um, Bang Luna, we should rent a place to have a get together so that we have more chance to mingle. We do definitely. That's the plan. So that no, that is a good suggestion because as I've said, we did actually went to a restaurant and that we had like our own space in the restaurant. It's just that I think because it was I didn't I didn't plan and I didn't ask the restaurant to make sure that there's an extra chair in every table so that at least I could go around to talk with people. Or I didn't make like any specific plans in order to just spend time with certain people. Um, so maybe like hiring a place, right? Renting a place would probably work because that, and then like plan for not just like an hour and a half, right? And actually have like 2 3 hours 4 hours of being there to spend some time together. Bang Luna said I will do Wembley too, I love concerts there. Yes, definitely. So there was actually one question. Dodger Girl is asking, does the suite also include a ticket? Maybe a silly question. Yes. So the suite, you have to buy it, the entire suite. Whoever is going to buy, you need to buy the entire suite. And in a suite, they allot the number of tickets that you can have. So for the suite that we have, there were 16 tickets. There were 16 tickets. There were actually four people who paid for the tickets but they couldn't come, but they didn't tell me until the last minute that they paid for it. Had I known, I could have offered it to somebody, right? But anyway, I mean, in my head, like it's their money, so it's up to them what they wanted to do with that. But so for that suite, it was there were 16 tickets, so um there were 12 padded chairs that came with it, and then the rest four high chairs. But you can actually open the door, so there is a glass wall that divides the suite from the actual arena, the actual stadium, but they can open it so those that are sitting on the high chair can actually just experience the concert. So that's how it was. And then we just decided to have food so that we can all have dinner there. It was great. The food was great. I liked it. I liked the salad. I liked the chicken. I liked everything. And then I also liked the J-Hope cocktail. OT7, my spot is reserved with fairly nibs. Phaedra, you have to be really healthy because there's a lot of lights there. Okay, maybe sometime in the summer. That would be great. I do hate the heat though. I really, really hate this heat. Beth, my mom actually wants to do a cruise. She really wants to do. I'm not very like because I don't like being confined in the there. I actually like walking around or whatever. She wants to try it, so I'm probably gonna try it just for her. You should actually nag my mom. You nag her. If you nag her, she'll nag me to do it for like festa. Oh yeah, if there's like an event, yeah. Okay. Um. Hi Han. Cindy, I'm officially jealous. No, I really wish that more of you could come. If I do, so for Seoul, if I do Seoul, I will definitely do Seoul. It's just a matter of when. My niece actually wants to go either October, November, December. She just wants to go. She doesn't really have an agenda unless Stray Kids does something, but she's gonna go. So I'll probably go with her. And then I'm just waiting for the schedule of BTS. If they say that they're going to do something October or November, December, I'll probably plan my trip around that time. And then if you guys can go, as soon as I know, I will let you know. So most likely the plan is going to be solidified once BTS actually announces what they're going to be doing. Once they announce that, I will make my plan and then I can just announce. And then maybe some of I'm sure that some of you have your work or your life. Then you'll just let me know which parts of the trip you can go. Um, but if you guys want some comfort, it is better if we actually have enough people where we can actually rent a bus, so that, like a mini bus, not a big one, but a mini bus, so that it's more comfortable when we travel. You'll miss out. And then, I mean, the subway, you can experience that like anytime, but I think going around, at least it's not like too stressful. If you have like a like transportation that will bring you around, then we can go to like all of those places, BTS, all of the significant places that are actually a part of BTS's history, like the restaurant, their old dormitory, and all of stuff like that. Okay, so 66 days until V and Army are out, and I'm in Florida. Halina said she's in Florida. Okay, so funny, you have technical difficulties today, and so do I with. Okay, am I still lagging? Should I now restart? Subway is practical, but you don't see anything. And also, like, as I've said, if you want to have, like, to be able to hit certain places in a short span of time, it's always better to have your own transportation. Subway is faster though, but I think having your own like if you have a mini bus, it's not as stressful. You can rest, it's comfortable. You can leave your things in the bus. You can control your agenda and stuff like that. So, okay. Let me put down Debak, and then I'm going to restart. And then you guys, I guess it's the same link, or is it going to be a different link? Still not clear. Audio is okay. Okay, let me just put down my dog, and then I'm gonna figure out if I need to um give you a new link. My gut is that on YouTube it's going to be a different link, because I think it's going to be a different link on YouTube, right? Okay, 1 second. Give me 1 second. See, bye bye. Bye bye. Having watched some of the best performers. Okay, how is that? Am I still lagging? Am I still lagging? Much better. I refreshed. I don't know if that actually did something. But let me know. Is it better for you now? Better? Oh, great. Is it better for everybody? I just refreshed. Looking better, better. Can't wait for Jin show on Netflix. It's better. So it's better for most of you. Better, better. Okay, clear. You sound good. Clear. I think it might have a little lag, but let's see. Not lagging on your end. Better, better. Okay, so I refreshed. I don't know if that actually worked. I just refreshed. So hopefully everything's good. Lags when I move my hand. So I shouldn't move my hand. Okay, so those are the plans. Closing it off, just the last part. If as soon as BTS actually announces what they have planned for whatever for the last quarter of the year, then I am going to make my plans on going to Korea, and then I'm going to announce it, and then those that can join, um, I mean, I'm pretty quick once I make my plans. I usually do the bookings and all of that. So once that is solid, then I will let you know, and then you guys can just join if you can. The ideal scenario is that we'll have enough people for a mini bus instead of just a van. I mean, a van is okay as well, but it's not as comfortable as a mini bus, because then a mini bus you can actually stand up and you have more space, right? But a van will also do. That's also okay. And then yeah, and then we'll see what's going to happen, and then we're going to wait for wait for OT7, the concert, the tour, right? Okay, so the first live will crash the internet. I'm sure. I hope that they're already well prepared. So before we get into my review of J-Hope, I just want to ask everybody, do you have questions about the tariff? I know a lot of people are concerned about how that's going to be affecting the prices of CDs and BTS goods if they want to buy. Do you have questions on what's that going to, how is that going to affect um, prices of K-pop goods? Do you have questions? Okay. Reserve that question. Just want to warn everybody that this is not a political discussion. I'm not going to entertain any hate comments on either side. I won't entertain hate comments on the Democrats. I'm not going to entertain hate comments on the liberals. Sorry, on the conservatives. So we're just going to talk about tariff. It's already in place. So we're just going to talk about how that's going to affect the prices, not the politics of it. If anybody starts any kind of controversial discussion about it, I'm going to block you. So just on the tariff, okay? Just on the tariff. First and foremost, the tariff just got into effect. And so the prices won't actually ideal. The scenario is that goods won't actually really get affected until like 3 months down the line because it just went into effect. And so a lot of the goods don't really get into distribution until about 2 3 months. So we shouldn't be expecting prices to go up into 2 3 months. So if anybody actually is rising prices, it's not the tariff. It's just business people trying to take advantage of the of the news to earn more money. Okay, so again, just on the tariff itself. All right, let's explain what a tariff is. It's already in place. Let's not discuss why, whatever, is already in place. So it is a tax imposed by one country, so in this case, the US, on the goods and services imported from another country to influence it, raise revenues, or protect competitive advantage. So any goods, for example, that China is distributing to the US or China is selling to US, we're going to put a tariff on it. The same way, China is putting a tariff on our goods when you sell it um, to China. So if you go to, for example, in South Korea, if you buy a MacBook, for example, even though it is manufactured in China, they actually put a tariff. So it's way more expensive because it is a US brand. Now we're doing the same thing for them. If, for example, what's a Chinese product? Like whatever, any kind of Chinese product or Chinese products that were manufactured in China, um, if they distribute that in the US, then we will put a tariff on it. So it's going to become more expensive. The same way our goods are expensive in their country because they put a tariff on it. So that's a clarification. All of these countries talking about like why we're putting a tariff on them. Many of them, like 99% of these countries, are already putting a tariff on our goods, meaning US, on our goods to their country. Okay. Um, Next, how does it work? So that's an explanation. Country B manufactures towels. It distributes that to country A. And so country A is going to impose a tariff on country B's products. That's why the price goes up. Now, how is that going to affect K-pop is the question. Oh, sorry. So the what are the pros and cons? Always in any kind of concept, there's always a pro and always a con. Con would be higher consumer prices because a lot of our goods are manufactured in China. You know the joke, right? US made in China. Because a lot of our goods is manufactured in China or other countries, then anything that we buy that is manufactured there is going to be more expensive. And then the risk of retaliatory measures, which a lot of countries are doing right now, again, just to make sure they already are putting a tariff on us for a really long time, so they're adding to that tariff that's already in place. And then strained trade relations. As you know, a lot of countries are now saying they don't want to trade with us, that they don't want any kind of relationship. That's a con. That what's the pro? It protects local industries in the short term and also in the long term, because the goal is, if this is the thinking, if for example Apple is manufacturing their goods in China and they realize, oh my god, it's just now it's going to be more expensive because I'm manufacturing in China, and but if I go back to the US, there will be no tariff, then I'll just manufacture in the US. Now we're going to get into labor costs, goods costs, raw material costs in a bit. But that is the goal. Like if it's apples to apples, then might as well manufacture in my own country, then I'm helping my own country. And then it generates government revenue and of course the trade leverage, which Trump is now using. Any goods sold in the US. So what will be affected? Any goods sold in the US that are not made in the US. Okay, for as long as it's not made in the US, even if it is a brand of the US, then it's going to be tariffed. So Apple, which is a brand in the US, if they manufacture in China, they get tariff. Tesla, if they manufacture in China and then they distribute here, they will get tariff. Anything that is not made here, it will get tariff. Okay, terrifying. Are there tariffs on US performers? For example, if BTS performs here, is the government going to say, I will tariff you? No, they will pay their taxes, and some changes might happen in the way that we're taxing performers, but it will not fall under tariff. Okay, so that is and then that's a different discussion altogether as well, because there are tax relationships. uh, for example, in Korea and the US, there is a partnership, a bilateral agreement. So if a performer is already paying taxes in Korea, then they don't pay taxes in the US, or they only pay a certain amount of tax. For example, also there are exceptions. So, for example, in California, if you perform in, so the Korea and the US have a bilateral agreement, right? So you only pay taxes in one country. In the US, it's usually federal. But if you perform in states like California, then they get taxed separately. But at least they don't get taxed federal. So for everybody who's not from the US, we get taxed twice. We get taxed federal and then state level. There are certain states that don't have income tax and other types of taxes. In the US, we have all sorts of taxes. We get taxed on taxed, and then we get taxed on that taxed as well. Okay. It's one of the most, we're one of the most taxed residents in the world, not just in the US. Okay. Tariff on goods they sell in the US. So, for example, we order a lot on Weavers, global, right? Um, on, or even in the you products that are stocked, that are stored here in the US. So if those goods are not made in the US, yes, they will become more expensive. So if, for example, the poly and the seven moments should not suffer from tariff, because that those were manufactured even before tariff were put in place. But the succeeding ones, yes, it will be affected. Um, Miss Fairlane, it's like I'm sitting in my community engagement and agriculture class. What are you explaining is what we were taught in master's agroeconomic class. Okay, well, I came from a family of educators. I think I've mentioned this before. In our family, teachers are actually revered as much as doctors and lawyers. That's how we look at them. Very, very much respected. So it's like we have to live up to the standards of teachers. Okay, what can they do? So, for example, if Weavers or if Hype doesn't want to suffer from tariff, what should they do? They should manufacture in the US. That's what they should do. They should manufacture here, distribute here, then they don't get tariff. Especially if they're going to establish a career in the US, then they should start manufacturing here. Okay, now the big question. But materials and labor and materials are expensive in the U.S. Yes, that is true. Imagine in the U.S. I think in California, our minimum wage is already 17.35. I think, or maybe more. We're close to 20. For California, we're very close to $20. So if somebody is going to manufacture something, man the machine or something, or do QA in the 8 hours that they work, then that is times 20. Then that would be 160 per day, and that doesn't include other taxes and then of course there are mandatory things in the US. You need insurance, you need you need to pay taxes on top of the taxes that your employees. So definitely it's going to be way more expensive. And then of course, because materials, because labor is expensive, then everything else is expensive, right? Because there's nothing really that you can do without labor. So yes, definitely way more expensive. So the goal, as I've said, is to eventually have people, the intention in the long term is for people, businesses to actually go back to the US and manufacture their goods here before this globalization move. Right now a lot of our stuff are being manufactured in China, and that those are usually like cost effective or cheap, to be blunt about it. Now, if they start manufacturing in the US, it's going to be more expensive in the short term, but the goal is for money to stay here. So once things actually start getting manufactured here, then there will be more jobs, people will have more money to spend, and then things are going to advance, skills, technology, all of those stuff. Now, how long is that going to take? It's going to take long. So, for example, if let's say what kind of product, maybe I don't know, Honda for example, or Toyota says, okay, we're good, we're going to start manufacturing in the US. It's not going to happen in a year. It's not like they're going to scout a manufacturing plant, set up everything, look for people, construct the plant itself, bring technology here in like a year, right? It's going to take a long time. uh Probably 5 if we're lucky, more likely 10. So a lot of the benefits of putting tariff now will not be felt until like a decade after. So, or 5 years, let's just say, let's be positive. It's not going to be felt until like 5 years after. So whatever benefit they're promising with the tariff won't be felt. It's there, but it won't be felt in the short term. So there's always like a good and the bad. And the effect in K-pop is that it's going to make things more expensive. Is it going to make tickets more expensive in concert? It shouldn't, because as I've said, they're already paying taxes. But if the prices of the stuff that you're buying right now is going up because of tariff, that is most likely businessmen trying to make as much money. It doesn't have anything to do with tariff. It should go up in like 2 months, but not now. So that's the story. Do you have question? um Honda already manufactures, wait, let me go here. Oh, here. Okay. Honda, where is that comment on Honda? Honda already manufactures in the US. I think they are now leaving though. Honda is South Korea, right? Um, they could. I mean, they shouldn't, because we provide military support. We provide military support in South Korea, and it's not like North Korea is gonna go away. So they shouldn't wage war against the US, because they do need our military, and we provide a lot of support in South Korea. So they shouldn't join this frenzy. They should stay we should be good part. They should be a. They should stay. They should keep the partnership because they need more. They need us more than we need them. So if they like start doing all this, I'm going to pull out my business. It's not going to do them well. Um, so, but I don't know. Like maybe I don't know what's going in their head. Honda is Japan. Oh well, Japan committed to. So Japan promised 3 trillion new investment. Um, so I don't imagine that's going to happen. And the same thing is true with Japan. Japan doesn't actually have their own military. Technically, they don't have their own military. We're also providing them support. So again, one of those countries that shouldn't cut ties with us because we're providing them military support. They have their own military. It's not called military. And definitely not as strong as they would want at this moment. They're on their way to that, but they are. I actually put out a video about that. They actually outlawed military. So in their constitution, it is illegal to have their own military. So for the longest time, the U.S. actually supported them and gave their own military, but they have built up some sort of defenses. They're just not calling it military, but they are not there yet. What about Canada? How does it affect? So one thing that we took away from Canada is the 20 billion annual aid that we're giving them. Is it 20 or 200 billion? One of those two. It's either 20 billion or 200 billion. So that's leaving them. We're also providing them military support. Canada's military is not that strong either. Um, One of the things that will be affected is the energy supply that they are sending the US because we're importing energy from them, which I think was set up by Trump actually. So that's one. And then we have some goods that are being sold in Canada. So that those they're because they're imposing retaliatory tariff that's going to go up. It's going to the same way it's going to play on the advantage of Canada because people are going to start supporting more Canadian food and goods. It's going to be good for their economy. So that's how it's going to affect us. However, because we do have a deficit with Canada, meaning we are importing more than we are exporting. We're earning more. They are earning more than we are, right? Because of all this. So they're earning more. So they actually have more to lose. They have more to lose. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to go like the country's going to, it is a sovereign country. So maybe this is what they need to sort of become more independent. That's the answer to Canada. Um, Sylvia, oh wow, I didn't know about Japan. Japan is meeting with the Treasury Secretary in a few days. Yeah, we provide a lot of military support. This is a joke, a running joke in the finance and economic circle. Like whenever people say the US dollar is not hedged on anything, which is true. It's not hedged on anything. It used to be hedged on gold. It's not hedged on anything right now. And the running joke is that no, it's hedged on tanks, on military, on guns. It's a bad joke, but it is true. That's a hedge for dollar. That's why it remains like super strong because we're providing a lot of support, military support to a lot of countries. So it's painful in the short term for sure. If it works, if it works, it's going to benefit us in the long term. But that is long term, and I mean long term. It's not going to be like, okay, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and things are going to be better. It's not like I'm going to wake up in 3 years and things are going to get better. So a lot of sacrifices, and then if again, big if, then it's going to benefit us. Phaedra, good night. Good night. What is happening now in the tariff has been proven to be detrimental. It's not being managed properly by current administration. Nothing anyone can say can explain why the top economists are against the nonsense. Um, Primarily because I've always believed that any kind of program, any kind of economic program may work. It all depends on how things are run, right? So any kind, even if we go back to income tax instead of tariff, That has advantages the same way tariff has its advantages and disadvantages, same way. It's just a matter of like knowing how to, which one is going to, who's going to lead to actually run it better. That's that's that that's that's it. Any kind of program, any kind of government, any kind of form of government actually has its pros and cons the same way in the economy. So going back, let's just weave it back, lead it back into K-pop. That's how it's going to affect the prices of CDs. Um, that's how it's going to affect prices of goods that they are sending our way. It's going to be more expensive if it is not manufactured in the US. So that is going to be a big detriment for people who want to support their favorite groups. But in terms of prices of tickets, it shouldn't get affected. I'm Canadian and I haven't gotten my head wrapped around the impact. I mean, it's super complicated for a lot of things, but I'm just trying to stay within the K-pop lane because that's what the channel is about. And I mean, I think for the Philippines, which is my home country, um, I don't think it has imposed any retaliatory taxes, and I think we do have zero tariff on U.S. goods, so it shouldn't make a difference. This just makes me depressed. We can bootleg BTS albums. Someone can actually go to Korea, buy them. The thing is that they release US exclusive CDs. So even if somebody actually goes to Korea and buy the album, they still, and of course we need to buy from US stores in order to help in charting. What about Australia? Even buying regular groceries costs $100. I'm not so familiar with Australia. I'm sorry. um, I do not think you're dependent in the US for your military, or you may be. I'm not sure. The whole play is to isolate China. If most countries get on board, it will cripple China trade wise. That is the long term play. BRICS is actually the target. BRICS. Okay. All right. So we're good on that. Is there any other question that you want to ask in relation to tariff and K-pop or Asian pop? Since we have Hive America, why can't we manufacture here? We should. That is the goal. That is the long-term goal for manufacturing to come back for manufacturing to come back to the US. That is the long-term goal. But as I said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take years. Um, Fairlane, Scooter Braun announced today that Hive America signed a new disruption. Is this with the guy? Their partnership with the guy? Since Hive has a distribution deal with UMG, does that mean CDs prices will not change? It's not about distribution; it's where it was manufactured. So if the CD is getting manufactured in the US, I'm sorry, in China, then it's gonna go up. The price will go up. If it is manufactured in the US, I think US and China, sorry, not China, South Korea have like a good tariff relationship. Or so yeah. So I think it shouldn't, yeah, yeah, all up in the air. Is J-Hope still releasing a new song? Sorry. So there are talks that he will release in the Asian leg of their tour, which is okay because I feel like the US actually got two, right? Sweet Dreams and Mona Lisa. We got two released from him. So I feel like okay, the US can actually uh I mean the Asia can have their own song. I feel like okay. I mean, selfishly, I was hoping in the last day of his concert in the US he would actually sing the last song, the last of the trilogy. But it seems that he's going to do it in Asia, and I feel like okay, since we got two, Asia can have this one. distribution deal. Yeah, I saw it. It's just I haven't actually gotten to the entire article. Um, Manila, Namhar said Manila. Oh yeah, he released it on the last. Was it on the last? He only had three concerts in Korea anyway. I haven't gotten over Mona Lisa, and he's sexy as hell in glass. I know. Okay, I thought Sweet Dreams was SK. Yeah, I do remember it was in South Korea. But we have Mona Lisa, so I feel like Asia can have the last release. That's fine. And also, to a certain degree, I feel like J Hope needs to allow the song to marinate a little bit because he's releasing too fast. So I feel like maybe there's a chance for the song to go higher in the chart, but not given the chance. We are not given the chance to help more in streaming because it's happening too fast. Like you release one and then you release another. So maybe allowing it to marinate a little bit, then it would be like we will have a better chance in pushing the song higher in the chart. Because remember, that's one of the things that he wanted. One said that Brisa said, I think he will release the third song in Japan. Could be because that's a huge market for him. I think he already sold out first day in his stadium in Japan, which is bigger. I think it's twice the size of BMO. And day one is already sold out. Fairlane, will you show us your photos from the concert and meetup? Yes, I will show that. Let's do that.
Having watched some of the
I actually pre-recorded. Can you hear it? I actually pre-recorded a video and I'm going to play it. Um, are you able to hear? I stopped it, but were
best
you able to
performers on
hear it?
stage, from Beyonce to Linkin, is all their own.
Are you able to hear it? You're able to hear it. Okay, great. Okay, I stopped it. So I will play it. Um, and then okay, it's just 11 minutes. I pre-recorded everything because I just wanted to be like smooth.
Having
Okay,
watched some
let's
of
go.
the best performers on stage, from Beyonce to Linkin Park and even Muse, I thought I've seen them all. And I would say rightfully so. These are some of the best performers of all time, bar none. Watching them is literally watching greatness. Their voices envelope the arena to suspend you in a space all their own. They give their heart and soul in these performances, feeling every word synced with every beat. But then an artist like J Hope, fondly called Jay by his US fans, come along and reminds us that there is something more, maybe even better, than just watching greatness in concerts. J Hope showed how a concert can be a celebration, a night when the artist directly connects with his community. And perhaps that's what it is, a community celebrating art and not just a concert. J Hope, after all, has always meant his music to be more than just an expression of himself, but a vehicle to bring people together. And here are 10 things worth noting in the J Hope Hope on the Street tour. This is all of Jung Ho Sok in one. J-Hope has been many things to many people at many times. He has taken on so many genres, and he has taken on many different personalities. From J-Hope, the dance leader of BTS, to Hope, to Jack in the Box, to a student of street dance. It was all a part of his journey to discover who he is and push himself way outside of his comfort zone. He has excelled in each of that. This concert wasn't merely a display of his range or skills. This was a fusion of all those personalities, all those struggles and victories into one artist, that is Jung Ho Sok. It was his way of saying, I am each of this, and each of this is me. Rebellion and Chaos. J-Hope opened with Chaos in his concert. His first four songs were all violent introspection, like a painful shedding of skin to get to know his core. He started with What If? And this song actually questions what would happen if J-Hope's name, fame, and image were stripped away. It sets the tone for a concert that's as much about performance as it is about his identity and essence. And then he followed it with Pandora's Box, and this dives into J-Hope's origin story and his duality, both the bright hope image and the darker, more complex truths that he holds. The third song is Arson. This is about the aftermath of success, the fires he set with fame, and the dilemma of what to do once the world's already burning. Stop explores the gray areas of human behavior, good and evil, right and wrong, and how judgment isn't always black and white. He then shifts gears with more, which reflects his hunger, not for fame, but for passion, growth, and authentic expression. The second part is about discovering the roots of his first love, street dance. His next four tracks came from Hope on the Street, an album dedicated to street dance and, of course, to armies. On the Street is a collaboration with J. Cole. It's actually a love letter to fans and the path that led him here, with the man who inspired him to start it all. Then he followed with Lock Unlock. It symbolizes the tension between restraint and liberation. The performance often features theatrical choreography that plays on being trapped and breaking free. And then I Don't Know, which wrestles with uncertainty, self doubt, and trying to find answers in a confusing world. And then I Wonder, which asks what's possible and what's next. It pairs with the previous track as a transition from uncertainty to openness. It is notable, though, that this is the most stripped down time in the concert. The highlight was usually the dance routine and his interaction with just one dancer. After this, he shifts to his sexy side. Just Dance, interestingly enough, is the follow up. He used, I think, Just Dance as a transition to his sexy side. Perhaps because it's really pure fun and pure funk. Sweet Dreams is a dreamy, mellow track about his dream girl. Miguel was actually there to perform, and this song is more like a gentle exhale between heavier or more hype songs. And then his last for this set is Mona Lisa, and this song emphasizes the true allure that lies not on the external beauty but in the unique qualities that make someone special. And then he shifts to J Hope the rapper. He started it off with one verse, which was a transition and is pure bars, where he actually flexes his lyrical sharpness, which leads to the succeeding songs. Next is Bassline. It's a diss at haters and a tribute to his essence in a raw and almost dirty way. And then Hang Sang is about loyalty and success shared with his crew. It's all about rolling with your people and celebrating wins together. And his last for this set is Airplane. It reflects J Hope's rise, flying over cities he once only dreamt of. It's aspirational, grounded in gratitude, and full of confidence. And then, the next section, he comes home to BTS. He plays Airplane Part 2, which is a reflection on their tour life. And then Mic Drop, a fan favorite. It is an aggressive flex anthem on their achievements as a group. And then another fan favorite, Pepsi or Silver Spoon. It is a socio-political bop disguised as a party track. It actually calls out generational inequality and hustle culture. And then Dis-Ease, which explores burnout and mental strain. He ends his BTS era reflection with outro Ego. It is joyful and all about self-acceptance. It celebrates identity and growth. It's one of J Hope's most uplifting songs, and live, it feels like pure sunshine. And then he ends where he began, in the beginning of his solo era. Daydream explores the disconnect between the idol image and his inner world. And then Chicken Noodle Soup brings back the childhood classic and transforms it into a bilingual dance explosion, a cultural mashup. And finally, Hope World, the theme song of his universe. Hope World is bright, colorful, and confident, a welcome mat to his identity, vision, and worldview. And as we all know, there's always an encore, and this focuses on the future. Well, actually, three things: clarity, the future, and his roots, emotionally and musically. His first song in his encore is Equal Sign. It's a message of unity and equality. Personally, I don't think it's really about activism, but more an understanding of the world around him. And then the future. He looks ahead with hope, curiosity, and courage. It's an emotional setup for his next act, a reminder that growth is constant and the best is yet to come. And then Neuron, his very last song, he goes back to his roots, both musically and emotionally. It is a reflection of his journey, his identity, and what makes him him, raw, poetic, and quietly powerful. J-Hope's set list tells a story of emergence, from the collective to the individual, from chaos to clarity, and from shadow to light. By going through each of these eras, he's not dividing his identity, he's actually weaving it together. It's not before BTS versus after BTS. It's not about Bright Hope versus Jack. It's just, this is all me, and I'm finally showing the full picture. And now the box. He owns the box. The box doesn't own him. Near the end of the concert, as he returns for the encore, J Hope walks out carrying a small box, a miniature version of the stage set. He doesn't really explain it any further than just saying it is a miniature of the set. But I don't think he had to. The symbolism has been building all night. Throughout the concert's visuals, we repeatedly see him trapped in rooms, behind walls, inside ever shifting boxes. He pushes, escapes, runs, only to find himself back in another box, identical to the one before. I think it's a loop, a metaphor for the industry, the spotlight, and the perfection expected from him. On the outside, everything looks polished, but on the inside, it's actually a cage. Until the very end, where he breaks free. By carrying the box during the encore, it's as if he's saying, I'm not stuck in the box anymore. I own it now. He's no longer confined by expectations, fame, or the need to impress. He's reclaimed his art, his identity, and his stage on his own terms. It's a visual and a sonic concert experience. One of the most brilliant aspects of this concert is how visual storytelling and set design actually work hand in hand with the music. The stage itself is made of moving boxes. Literally, at the start, J Hope rises from one like a jack in the box, the metaphor from his album title. But as the show progresses, the boxes shift, rearrange, and eventually disappear, mirroring his journey from confinement to control. At one point, he's actually lifted high above the stage, not just physically elevated, but also emotionally liberated. The set isn't just a backdrop, it's actually a part of the story. This isn't just a concert, it's a living, breathing performance art piece where music, movement, light, and stage design are all narrating one cohesive message: freedom from self definition. It's a connection between artist, music, and audience. More than anything, this concept feels like a celebration not just of J Hope's music, but of his journey and the people who've walked it with him. It's not about showcasing his greatness or his skills or his swagger or proving anything. It's about inviting the audience into his world, sharing what he's built and saying, this is for you, with you, because of you. And I think that's what sets J Hope apart from other great performers. What he has managed to create isn't just a masterpiece, it's an entirely different form of art, a different type of experience, and there are very few artists who can pull it off. Most likely, only the ones who don't just love what they do, but also truly love the people who love what he does just as much.
Okay. So, in I think one of the things, not the one of the things, but the main difference of J Hope um, from other great performers that I've watched, and I've watched a lot of them because I do love watching concerts, is just that he was able to make it about everybody. Like if you watch some of the greats, and I mean greats, like for example, Beyonce, if you watch her, you can just see the fire in her. You can see and that's great as well, right? That's great as well. Like you can see how she's really trying to show you just how good she is because she feels that's what you deserve. You deserve the best of her. If you see Linkin Park, it's all about their energy and they're also great. But J Hope isn't, it's almost as if he doesn't really need or want to impress. He just wants to get everybody in the experience with him. He just wants to celebrate what he created with everybody else. So it's not just about him, it's about the entire community that he built. The one thing, though, that we need to remember, though, is that this concert wasn't made in 3 months, not even 4 or not even 6 months. This is a concert that built up from 10 years of him being a member of BTS, experimenting with Hope World, going into Jock in the Box, and then finally going into Hope World, Hope on the Street. This community that is sharing this music with him, he built this up all this time. So even if, for example, a great artist, a great performer wakes up and say, I want to create an like a concert that J-Hope made, you can't do it overnight. You can't do it in 1 year. You certainly can't do it in two. It'll take like as much time as J Hope actually nurtured this community that he created. So I think that's why people were so impressed. I was watching Zach, the podcaster who interviews a lot of K-pop stars, and he was talking about, like, he was asked, he was there last night, and he was asked, like, how was it, how was your experience? And he was like, it was a masterpiece, it was the finest experience, finest piece of art and whatever. And you can just hear it in his voice that he's not saying it just because he wanted to be polite. You know that he's saying it because he really was very impressed with what he saw. And I think it was because of that, because it's so rare to actually see somebody like this, someone who can show and showcase just how good they are and also have the community take part in all of it, in the entire experience. So I can't wait until he does. He said, I think for those of you who weren't there at the end of the concert, in his ending meant, he kept on saying he didn't want to go home, that he really feels like California is actually his second home, and that he wants to go back. So for sure, I think he also did say that it inspired him to think. I don't know if he said it in the concert or in one of the interviews, but he did say that it inspired him to think of what he's going to be creating next as an artist. So I feel like he definitely plans on doing another tour, and hopefully he does it like on a bigger scale. But he definitely plans on doing it. He definitely wants to do another tour, and I'm all for it. So Forbes reviewed Friday night concert and had high praise. Yeah, I think they called it like a masterpiece, which is the same word used by Zach. Um, so I haven't heard, and this is actually one of the observations that I've made in this entire tour. I am yet to see anybody screen recording any part of his concert and just trashing him for being a bad performer. Like they can't even find a single video or a moment in his entire concert that would give them the ammunition to trash talk him, because you can't. Like every moment he is perfect. I think this just shows you just how good he is as a performer. Um, okay. Proud of Suga and J Hope solo concerts, they set the bar for other members and other artists. And those two concerts are so different. I mean, both are good. And both, it's just an elevated experience for both. It's just the two different approaches that they used. Hilariously, people were questioning if it was sold out, circled the aisle and the side stage area. um, there were I think there were they did not include the count of the seats that they released last minute, because Ticketmaster released some seats on this day itself that they did not count, I think. So it is officially sold out. Although one of the things that I've learned is that, not learned, I've known this for a while. It's just that it was confirmed that only the venue can 100% declare whether it is sold out or not. So, meaning, if people want an official statement, it will have to come from BMO, not from anybody else. Um, so they haven't made an announcement, but I mean, if you go to the concert, there's like it was packed. It was. I mean, even when we were in the suite, we can actually see below. There were no. I mean, I'm sure there were some people who failed to make it, were sick or whatever, but like there were no vacant seats. Correct. Oh, there you go. Fire Butterfly said BMO declared sold out. There you go. Then it is sold out. If they are, it's the venue, only the venue can actually 100% declare it's sold out. If they declared it, then there you go. It is sold out. And but even if like for being there on 2 days, I saw it. I saw it was sold out. So in my head, I have absolutely no question it was sold out. And there were no cards giving away tickets, nobody begging anybody to get the free tickets, nothing of that sort. In fact, a friend of mine actually wanted to get tickets last minute on the day of. She wanted to give her daughter and her daughter's friend some tickets, and they couldn't get any because everything was resale. And in the beginning, I was like discouraging them to buy resale because I thought like because I said like it's J Hope will not earn from that price. You have to just buy the original, and the only thing the only seats that were available were resale, so she didn't want to buy it in the beginning, so I knew that it was sold out. Saw Cat's Eye in attendance. So Sophia actually said she brought sunflowers for him, and she was like, so I love Sophia. She was like she said it's definitely a core memory for her to just for them to, I mean, I could just imagine being a new artist and like dreaming for something that big for your group and seeing somebody who actually really started from the bottom and made his way up and now performing solo, like what kind, how inspiring that is. And you'll be able to see him face to face, and how inspiring could that be to spend some like even for just several minutes with him. But yeah, Sophia said it's definitely a core memory for her, and she actually personally bought the sunflowers for him. So she's so sweet. Yeah, they called it the masterpiece. Yeah, Forbes complete called it the masterpiece. Both Jin and J Hope have left armies up close to them. I hope that other members do that too. If they do, army just doesn't need to bleep it up. I love actually one of the things that I noticed about J Hope is that he would always approach audience members who didn't have their phone up. I think he just wanted to he just wanted to spend like he wanted to approach people that were just in the moment. If you observe it, all the ones that he approached, it would always be with somebody with who didn't have their phones up. Like I think that's one of the things he considers. Like, are you in the like in the moment with me? And that's what he would choose. Um, Sylvia said, I don't think any of them could have ever dreamt of reaching the heights they all have. I was lucky to get it a box office on second day in Chicago. Oh, perfect. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I hope all of I'm manifesting a tour for each of them, of course. So there are talks that J Hope might not J Hope, Jungkook might do like a special show, probably not like a full tour, but a special show. I think one of the things that I've kind of realized is that you do need to have at least like 25 songs for you to have like a substantial, like a good, like a packed concert. If you go like 18, that's kind of like stretching it. It doesn't, although it's not bad, but I think you do need more than 20. So J-Hope actually had 26. He sang 26 songs. So for I think if Jungkook includes the solo releases he had when he was still with BTS and then includes some of BTS songs the same way J-Hope did it, I think it should be fine. But I am manifesting a tour. Let's manifest a tour. I want a tour for manifesting it. But of course, I'll always take what I can get. Whatever they decide, I'll be supportive. Each member, where's that? Each member has grown with beautiful results. The reunion concerts will be a bloodbath for sure. His fashion was insane, so amazing. And I think at this point it's mortal sin if he doesn't do his own line. In Oakland, a fan was able to get a selfie with J Hope, but she made it easy for him, her back to her, and the camera already up. JK needs to release another album. I think so he has 12 in his album. If you include all of the releases he's had and then some BTS songs, I think he'll get there. He'll get to 25. JK can do a whole album in 1 week. True. Will he have time to do that before an OT7 reunion? Yeah, I think that is primarily the reason I don't think it's going to be like a full tour. Probably a special show or set of special shows, primarily because he needs to be, not needs, but I think he would want to be there for the reunion, for recording, you know, the reunion, the next album. J Hope, the audience was up on their feet the whole time in Oakland. Sugar, I got to sit every once in a while. Um, I don't think I ever sat in Sugar's concert. But then on day one, I was actually for Sugar, I was at the barricade, so I got VIP. Day two is when I did. I think I was at section. I was in the first floor. I think in day two, and then day two and day three. Maybe JK will release a new album before year 2025 ends and had concert. That is why the actual group comeback will be early 2026, I guess. Everybody's guess. I have no. I I don't know. I'm gonna support them either way, whatever it is that they wanna do. Okay. JK is great, but he's not ready to hold a full concert. I think he's more focused on the performance, whereas J Hope is so personable and naturally comfortable with people. JK is still shy in that way. Um, I think for JK, it's more a question of time more than anything because, and J Hope had time because he went to the military early, so he had this 1 year before the boys actually come back. So I think that's why he was able to do a tour. And then of course he had enough songs. I think Jin, had he had enough songs, would have done a tour as well, but he didn't have enough songs. So okay. We let's talk about what is this? That is not okay. Um Shelling said, I didn't sit for Sugar or J Hope's concert. I don't remember sitting. I mean, so during the for Sugar, I got the VIP. I was very close to the barricade. I think I was the second row in the barricade. So when he did the sound check, when he left, that I got to sit down before the actual show. And then the show started, we weren't able to sit down. There were actually several people who just like lost consciousness because they refused to leave their place, and I guess it was so hot and stuff. So we're on the floor. Can you even see your short? Like, so on the day of the concert, I was wearing like a 3 inch platform shoes. Yeah, 3 inches, which is not enough because I'm 5. So that only puts me up to about 5'3", which is definitely, and the person in front of me is like 5'5" or something, and she was also wearing platform shoes. So I had to tiptoe outside of that platform shoes that I was wearing. And still I wasn't able to clearly see him. So I would wiggle my way in whatever like slot I can see because I'm so short. I mean, I was close enough so I can actually see details of J Hope. It's just that because of their heads, I can't clearly see him. But in those like moments when I can actually see him, I can see details of him. That's I keep on forgetting that. Well, I did not know I was going to be on the floor on the second day. I thought I was going to be in the suite, but things changed, so I wasn't really ready with my platform shoes, is my point. Personal space. I'm 5 feet as well. I'm 5 feet on a good day. Probably 4'11" on a bad day. Short people problems. Definitely short people problems. But there is a solution. I actually told my friend that I wanted to find somebody who will do custom shoes for me, shoes that will allow me to raise it 7 inches during a concert. So if you know anybody that can do, like, maybe an engineer is out here that can actually like create something like that, something that yeah, shoes that will allow me to raise it 7 inches during concert. Any tips on how not to lose consciousness? I felt so lightheaded in Seoul D2 because of the pirate. That is so hard. But if you're gonna do floor and you're going to be in the standing area, that is going to be so hard. Um, my only I'm not a doctor, but if I were you, I would just not force it. Like, if you read, your health is number one. Your health is number one. So just like get a good seat in the first floor and you should be fine. My niece is 5'5" and she will be wearing platform boots on Sunday. Exactly, right? I mean, okay. Me to 410 here. Wear wicking clothing, not nylon. Okay, that's an advice from suggestion, not advice. Suggestion from Fire Butterfly. Uh, not don't wear nylon. Bring water. The problem with this BMO people, they're so unreasonable. They're so unreasonable. So I bought water, and they gave me a cup, not water, lemonade in a bottle. They gave me a cup and asked me to use the cup and throw away the bottle. And like, it's gonna spill because there's no cover, right? And people are gonna jump around and be like, it's gonna spill. And we're like, no, you have to. And some people, I tried to be as careful as I could, but a lot of people actually spilled their drinks, so the floor was very dirty. Question: does Blackpink have the same following in the US as in SK? Actually, that's one of the my next topic. Hydrate, please. I like the next tour to be OT7. Yes. Okay. So, um, this is Baby Monsters, and this is one of their venues. Uh, they have an arena tour in the US, and they booked arenas, and I think they even booked. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can share it live. Um, Here. Where are you? Okay. So this is their venue. This is for Baby Monsters. They closed, this is an arena. It's all state arena in Illinois, and they closed this portion. They cut off like almost half. They closed all of it. They're not selling tickets here. But even then, if you that's a lot. Blue would be standard admission. So this is not resale. Pink would be resale. Yellow is VIP. And then all of this would be standard admission. And I think I just couldn't understand. And it's not like it's just Atlanta. It's actually all of their venues is like that. If you go into all of their venues, it's like it's not selling. Now it's still a long way to go. It's September, so they're not promoting it as much yet. But so this is the same situation for um are the blue ones? Yes. So blue would still be available. That's their second venue. And then if you go Texas, it's the same thing. Although again, this is September and it's only April, but that's a lot of blue. So this blue is standard admission, and then pink is resale, yellow is VIP. So almost all VIP not sold, a lot of standard tickets still available. And then this part, um, the topmost second level, they actually aren't selling. I think they just closed it because the tickets are not that high in demand yet. Maybe if it goes in demand by August, they're going to open it up. But like a lot of blue right now, if you go, let's say Blackpink, they are, let's say Wembley, it's the same situation for them. There's a lot of tickets available. These are standard tickets. So if you go closer, you can have a better idea on the number of tickets still available. Oh, sorry, I keep on messing it up. So that's day one. I think this one has the higher demand. But if you go day two of their Wembley, there are more tickets available. Yeah, it's a lot of tickets that are available. So this is, and they have, and this is the same situation for a lot of the other venues that they have. I think, well, which one was one of the worst? So they have like uh for example, for Canada, one was sold out, but 90% was like resale. And then Spain is just an absolute disaster. No one's buying in Spain. So I think just that the point is that I don't understand why, at this rate, I really do not understand why Yang Yun Suk would book these venues. Like, as a marketer, I know I would not, I don't even have to look at the numbers because there's usually a study. There's like a feasibility study that's presented to the promoters on how, on the demand of the tickets of a group. So even if I'm not like an insider, I know for sure that this is too big for them. So I'm not sure, like, are is he being told a different type of information? Is he being fed a different type of it, a different set of information? That's why he thinks, oh, the group is going to sell it out, no problem. Or is he planning on doing something like a marketing push that he thinks that would be enough to create demand once it's closer to the date? So I'm not really sure. But one of the indicators would be the tour of Jennie, not the tour, but a special show. Jennie's special show actually didn't sell out. They actually ended up giving away tickets. So I think she went on, was it Jennifer Hudson show, and the audience were just given tickets. So this is her venue a day before the show, and this is a theater. This is a theater. So, and then there are groups like, for example, 50/50. They went on tour. So the new 50/50 actually went on tour, and this is their, like, this is the sales of their ticket. So New York, believe it or not, at 48.36, it's not bad for a group that's really, they really didn't have an active promotion in the US except for that song. So the 48.36% is not bad in New York, and they have 34.58% in LA. But then the lower you go, and then they actually have 58.51 in San Francisco. So these are not bad. But then you go lower in Atlanta, you have 28.40% ticket sales. This is ticket sales, okay? Ticket sales. So only 28.40% were sold. In Chicago, only 17.26% were sold. Phoenix, 15.48% were sold. Houston, 22.45% were sold. And Dallas, 11.10% were sold. So I don't, I mean, it must be heartbreaking I, a lot of look, a lot of artists actually go through this, right? A lot of artists actually go on tour, especially in the beginning of their career, and nobody watches. And that's, it's part of the experience of being, of trying to make it organically. So for 50-50, I feel like that's fine. You go through this, and hopefully you improve, and you put your name out there, and more people will actually get to know you better, and in the next tour it's going to be better, and then better and better, right? Like, it's as organic as you can get. But if you go, for example, Jennie and Blackpink, I'm just wondering, like, why would Yang Sok actually go through this? Does he have something up on his belt that we don't know about? Because I feel like the moment I saw the venues, I was just like, this is way too much. You won't sell it out. And I guess I'm right. But I don't know, are they going to give away tickets again? But they did that already. And the reason they did it in the first tour, in the first stadium tour, was so they could build a reputation, so that in the next tour they will have enough pull and enough fans that they don't have to do it again, right? That is the point of fake it till you make it. So you fake it in the first one so that the next time you do it, it's authentic, but it's still happening again. So I'm just wondering about that. I know that for Baby Monster, I plan on watching, by the way, Baby Monster, because I'm a fan of Baby Monster, and my bias is actually Ion. But I understand that for Baby Monster, they kind of want to build them up because they can't afford not to have like a huge group at this stage, because I don't think, I may be wrong, but I think like this is their last chance to bring the girls, Blackpink, together in a concert, and Blackpink is their primary money making group. So, um, so I understand why they're actually pushing for Baby Monster in this positioning. I understand that. The fake it till you make it might actually make sense for Baby Monster, but not for Blackpink. Considering, to answer Bang Luna's question, yes, BP's last tour actually lost money. And the only reason they didn't go on the negative in 2023 was because they sold their company, many of their companies in 2023. And then 2024, they declared lost. And those are the 2 years when it's actually the girls were actually going on tour extensively. So, and then as we know, in their report, in their financial report, they actually said that a huge chunk of their loss came from the tour. Like they had to return some money in advertising and marketing and whatever. So, and then you have other Asian groups, like, I don't know if you know of this group, Yasobi, sorry, yeah, Yasobi. So it is a duo, and they have great music, by the way, and they're so low profile in the US, in meaning they don't have a lot of press. You don't see them trending on Twitter a lot. You don't see them getting interviewed in many publications a lot. But here they are selling out their tour. So, but the strategy for this group is that they really are doing it grassroots. So they're starting really small. They're building their fan base, going international on international tours, slowly building their fan base. And so in the next tour, it's going to be bigger. But my God, they sold out all of their venues in like 30 minutes. And it was so surprising because, as I've said, they're not known mainstream. And then you have other groups like, so this is the write up about the sold out tour, their last one. And then you have groups like SB19. This is a boy band from the Philippines. He also sold out all of their venues in like 30 minutes. And yes, the venues are actually smaller. It is bigger than their previous one, but it is smaller compared to like arenas and whatever. But they're selling it out. It's sold out to the point that they're actually now negotiating so that they can get a second date to so that they can fulfill the demand. And then you have other artists like, I don't know if you're aware, if you know this artist. One second, it's not moving. Um, sorry. So K-pop. So just to emphasize, K-pop and Asian pop are two different animals. in other words, because you have Asian artists and K-pop artists with two different strategies on how they're doing things. For Asian pop, meaning Japan, Malaysia, the Philippines, other Asian countries, their priority is to first establish their market and then establish their identity musically. That's what they prioritize first. There are some exceptions, but essentially that's what they want. Establish their market first, especially in their home country, and then establish their identity musically. Once they have that, that's when they start expanding their market. As opposed to K-pop, it's all about profit and global expansion right off the bat. I don't blame them because for K-pop, a lot of money actually go into there's a lot of investments that actually go into building a group. So they have to recuperate the money right away. So, but for SB19, that's not a problem that we have in other Asian countries or Asian performers. Like for SB19, it was a very low capital, and that meant they actually were able to recover the initial investments faster. After that, they can concentrate. So what SB19 did was actually leave their management company and put up their own. And then they started experimenting with their music, establishing their own identity. Each member of the group actually has his own project. So as they build and experiment their music and their own identity, they're able to expand their market. So it's more strategic. The same thing with Yasobi. There's because it's Japanese, because they're a Japanese group, their identity musically is so strong, which a lot of K-pop artists don't get the chance to build. Because as I've said, they're getting pushed right away in the North American market. They are rushed in that market before they even get to know themselves as artists because they carry the baggage of their agency. YG right now is in deep trouble, financial trouble, and they're very stuck in their old ways, meaning they're still in that fake it till you make it stage. So instead of allowing the group to grow, allowing the group to actually enjoy what they're doing, experiment with their music, and know who they are artistically. They're just given the identity, given the music, given everything, and then ordered to actually go conquer North America, which is unfair. Now, Cacao is actually a classic example of this. Apparently, Cacao is trying to build its own conglomerate. So they want to become a multi label system after trying to sabotage Hybe. They actually came out with a statement stating that they actually have a multi-label system as well. And they want to focus in securing intellectual property rights, and they want to concentrate in building new talents. So SM Entertainment is officially under Kakao Entertainment now because they own majority of it. It's like 41%. So in the as a conglomerate, the Kakao has a multi-label system. One of that is SM, and then another is Starship. So as I've said, after bashing Hybe for actually building a multi-label system, apparently that's what they want to do. But just like YG and other groups, other management companies, what Kakao is actually doing is the same thing. They're just pushing their artists without actually allowing their artists to grow and get to know themselves as musicians before pushing it outside. As you know, Kakao has been convicted of advertising manipulation and they were fined because it was proven that they were not disclosing the fact that a lot of the people that were leaving comments and posting stuff about them on social media were actually paid. And so now what's happening is that your group is already being questioned for their authenticity, and you make it worse by actually not disclosing that many of the people that are leaving positive comments about them online are actually paid. And so it's not fair for these girls that they're not given the chance to grow musically, and then they're getting looped into the scandals of their own agency. As a result, everyone is just rushing to follow the trend or faking their success. And that I think is the problem because the main focus of many of these companies have always been to chase profit and prestige. Those are the two things that they want, profit and prestige, when in fact they should establish their artistic footprint and their artistic identity more than anything first. So I hope that the one thing that I appreciate about some groups, like for example, Stacy, Le Seraphim, is that they are, and even Mamamoo, the agency gave them enough time to sort of grow and then slowly allow them to control their own music until they find who they are, until they establish their own identity, until they know, oh, this is what I like musically and this is who I am as an artist. So now that Stacy and now that Les Seraphim are most, like for now in Les Seraphim, it's actually Yunjin that's contributing the most in building their universe, in building their music and aesthetics. They're ready to go out and go international because they have enough portfolio, they have enough songs, they have enough creative control over their own music. So that is the answer to the question, the initial question that you have, that are they really like, is Blackpink really that popular in Europe, for example? A lot of this is really just positioning. It's fake it till you make it. It's just that I think at this stage, it's time for many of these groups and many of these management companies to sort of sit back, take a step back, and look at what and who they really have in their roster, and just allow the girls to grow before you push them in the North American market. It's just it. I feel so bad. Because I like baby monsters, so I feel so bad. This is what they are experiencing in their first tour. But again, maybe it's going to do them good having experienced this stage before they actually become big. Who knows, right? Um, Keenan said, do you think Le Seraphim, who still has to announce their international tour dates, could be holding fans back from committing to other K-pop act concerts around that same time? I think it's more for, quite honestly, I think for Le Seraphim, it's more logistics. That's why they haven't announced their tour. I think it's more logistics. They have to be very strategic in what how they're going to do the world tour and how they're going to do the marketing while the group is on tour. The one thing that BTS has going while they were doing on tour, that's what, if you observe a lot of the groups or a lot of artists that go on tour, we don't hear much about them while they are on tour because they can't create much while they are doing the world tour. It takes a lot of out of their bodies. What BTS did and what Hype did and Big Hit did for BTS when they were doing the world tour is pre-pack content. That's one. Second is that that's why they have cameras constantly following them, so that even while they are not actively creating content, Hype and Big Hit were actually able to release content to keep their name floating around in mainstream media and in social media. So I think for Les Seraphim, that's part of the logistics. How are they going to keep this going? So they need to record a lot of content and they need to be strategic on how they're going to do the tour so that the girls don't go into oblivion once they start doing tour. Like I think that's one of the biggest mistakes of JYP with Isle It. They sent Isle It on tour, but they didn't do anything to keep their name afloat. Um, wouldn't it add too much pressure on artists? What is? You mean creating content while they're doing on tour? Yes, definitely. And that's part of the pressure that BTS felt. But when they were doing extensively, when they were doing world tours. But as everyone says, like if you do the same thing everyone else is doing, then you're going to get the same result everyone is getting. If you want to achieve more, you're going to have to do more. It's a lot of sacrifice, but what can we do? No, they shouldn't be pressured into doing it. It's just that it's the result that they will get, right? So, is it a lot of pressure? For sure. But if they want to be more than everybody else, then Coachella is an ugly location and has very little comfort. They need to bring more hardcore fans to fill it. Um, okay. I saw one question. I am late. I'm so glad that 50-50, even with how small was the attendance, they managed to generate some revenue. And I am glad. So I support 50-50. A lot of people are like, we don't support 50. I just, these girls are just trying to live their dreams. So I'm just happy that they actually decided to push through with it, even with the low ticket sales. I think, as I've said, it's a great experience for them. Not every artist will start with huge stadiums or huge arenas. Some artists will start small. So I'm glad that they just did it that way. If there's anything, I was just hoping that the management actually decided. I was hoping that they would have done the tour in smaller venues instead of doing bigger venues. Okay. Hello from CDO. Hello. No, trying to fill big venues when they can't. Oh, yes. Yes. That's why I don't understand why they keep on trying it. I mean, as I've said, this you don't just go into a concert blind. You do go through feasibility studies. You generate data, you identify which areas would be feasible, where your fan base is concentrated. That's why some acts would do concerts in Dallas. Some won't. Some will do in some obscure city because they are looking at the numbers. They're looking at the data. This is where the sales are coming from. Then we know that your fans are concentrated in this area, so we'll go here. All of those are backed by data. So I don't understand. Is he getting a different set of data, meaning YG and all of these other management companies? Or, as I've said, does he have something up his sleeves? Maybe there is a marketing push he's gonna do last minute that he knows for sure is going to create a demand. Okay. You mean twice? What do I mean twice? I think twice is okay. No, JYP, no, it was ITZY. So they sent ITZY in a tour. Twice is fine. Um, they sent ITZY on a tour when it was actually, so Leah went on vacation, right? He took a break for mental health. During that time, he sent ITZY on a tour. And no one actually heard about the tour, and no one, like, they weren't getting enough PR, basically. So people forgot about them. So by the time they finished the tour, there were a lot of other acts that were launched. So I feel that ITZY should be bigger than they are right now. Hype's strategy to see how artists are perceived in festivals before touring, I think, is great. Bragging rights for perception management. It could be, I mean, for sure that's what they're, but I still don't understand. Like, why will you lose money over it? Right? I mean, why not just do, why not just do one, like, for example, do one in every state, in like major states, and package it as an exclusive tour. Then you create more demand because people know that there's going to be no more than one show. You get your income, you sell out, and you can use that as marketing. Fairlin is so nice. YG has lost his mind with what he's doing. You said I'll it. That's why everyone was like, "Oh, I'll it." Did I say I'll it? No, not I'll it. Sorry, Itzy. Itzy is the group that JYP sent on tour. Itzy. And but while on tour, they didn't do any kind of press marketing to keep the name afloat. Because you need that. They're on tour, they're busy, they won't be able to generate new content, they can't do much of interviews and whatever. So JYP just mismanaged Itzy big time. I feel like they are at par with Les Seraphim in terms of the quality of performance. They're like one of the best performers in in K-pop. I feel YG at this point is just a ship waiting to sink. I think even if the venue doesn't sell out, they make good money. If somebody bought the show, if there's a promoter who guaranteed payment, because that could happen. Like if you go here and there's a promoter that would actually shoulder the entire, then you just get paid a specific amount of money. Then yes, you will make money even if the show doesn't sell, because the risk is on the promoter. That could happen. Did you see Cat's Eye? Yes, I saw them. But that night it was all about J-Hope. So I was like, oh, there's Cat's Eye. Is it a tease or 80s? I've always pronounced it 80s. It's not cost effective to set up and tear down stages for one show. I know, but it's better than if you're going to jack up your price and package it as an exclusive show. So better than not selling out. Maybe praying for a miracle, overestimated. Fire Butterfly said, like the video. Oh, we're already on the second hour. Okay, so thank you everybody for staying with me. As I've said, I have plans for the OT7 tour and for Korea. I hope you guys can join me. Um, and yeah, it's been great. It was a great show. And for those that are going to watch it in Asia, have a great time. We are now officially passing on J to you. I keep telling y'all that JYP had a time limit on his groups. Once they get a certain age, he's done with them. Oh my God, that is horrible. Okay, thank you. Oh, by the way, for JYP, at least the two groups are so sort of defying that rules. They're Stray Kids, they're sort of managing themselves, so they're able to push through even after the age limit. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye, everybody. I'll see you next live Wednesday. Bye. Please like the video. Like the video. Bye.